Wait, you get taxed twice on an RRSP withdrawal? Most people have no idea. They think the bank handles it. The bank handles part of it. The CRA handles the rest. And the rest is the part nobody sees coming. Our friend Otis's car died on a Tuesday. The mechanic informed that it's not worth fixing and a car replacement. $10,000 for a replacement. His RRSP had exactly that sitting in it. So he called the bank. They said it would take a few days. No problem, no warnings, just, we'll process that right away. The money was coming. Or so it seemed. No warnings, no red flags. And why would they warn anyone? It was his own money. The withdrawal itself, completely fine. It's what came after that nobody mentioned. A few days later, the money arrived. $8,000. Not 10, 8. $2,000 just didn't make it. Taken right off the top before the transfer even processed. That's called withholding tax, and it's just the beginning of the story. Here's how withholding tax works. When you withdraw from your RRSP, the bank is required by law to hold back a percentage. Under $5,000, 10%. Between $5,000 and $15,000, 20%. Above $15,000, 30%. $10,000 withdrawn, $2,000 taken, sent straight to the CRA. Tax paid. Done, right? Not even close. See, that $2,000 sent to the CRA, that's not the actual tax bill. It's more like a rough estimate, a deposit toward what's actually owed. Because the moment that $10,000 came out of the RRSP, it got added to income for the whole year. So the CRA doesn't see someone who made $58,000, they see someone who made $68,000. And those are two very different tax situations. Let's show what that actually means. $58,000 earned that year. At that income in Ontario, marginal tax rate is around 20%. $10,000 withdrawn from the RRSP. Total income now, $68,000. At $68,000, the rate jumps to almost 30%. So that withdrawal isn't being taxed at 20, it's being taxed at almost 30. Quick note here, every province has different rates. Worth looking yours up before making any RRSP decisions. The bank sent $2,000 to the CRA, but at 30%, the real tax on that withdrawal is closer to $3,000, which means there's still a bill coming, one Otis didn't know about yet. Here's the simplest way to think about withholding tax. It's not the final bill, it's what the bank estimates you'll owe and sends ahead on your behalf. When you file tax, CRA does the real calculation. Owe more than what was withheld? Pay the difference. Owe less? Get some back. In this case, more was owed. Another important thing most people don't find out about RRSP until it's already too late is, when you withdraw from your RRSP, that contribution room is gone. Not temporarily, not until next January, gone. Permanently. With a TFSA, take money out in June, room comes back next January 1st, like it never left. The RRSP works completely differently. That space closes the moment the money leaves, and it never reopens. So let's be really clear about this difference, because this is the one most Canadians get wrong. TFSA withdrawal, room comes back. RRSP withdrawal, room is gone forever. Same word, withdrawal, completely different consequences. One account forgives you in January, the other one doesn't forgive you at all. Know which one you're touching before you withdraw. So what actually is an RRSP? It's not free money. It's not a savings account to dip into. It's a trade. Put money in now. CRA reduces taxable income. Pay less tax this year. Money grows inside, completely sheltered. Zero tax on growth. Take it out in retirement. Pay tax on it then. Tax now or tax later. You choose when. That's the whole deal. And here's where it gets interesting. The bet with an RRSP is this. Right now, earning good money, tax rate is high. In retirement, income drops. Tax rate drops with it. Put money in when you have 33% marginal tax. Take it out at 20% marginal tax retirement life. That gap, yours to keep. Over a lifetime of contributions, that gap adds up to tens of thousands staying in your pocket instead of going to the CRA. That's the whole strategy. And when it works, it's genuinely brilliant. So for Otis, he bought a new car. Papers signed. $10,000. Done. But sitting at that dealership desk, the RRSP statement told a very different story. The RRSP withdrawal cost $2,987 in tax, plus $10,000 of room that's never coming back, plus something else, something bigger. If Otis left alone that $10,000 in RRSP, growing at 7% a year for 30 years, $76,023 gone. Not because of a market crash, but because he didn't know the rules in RRSP. And that's the thing about the RRSP. Most people who get this wrong aren't careless, they just didn't know. But hey, now you do. So when does an RRSP actually make sense? Put money in during the highest earning years, tax rate at its peak. Leave it alone. Let it compound. Zero tax on growth while it's inside.
Pull it out in retirement. Income is lower. Tax rate drops with it. For 2026, contributions up to $33,810, or 18% of last year's earned income, whichever is lower. And here's something most people skip. Unused RRSP room carries forward every year. Never maxed it out before? Pull up the notice of assessment from last year's tax return. The available room might be significantly larger than expected. Worth checking, worth using. So, Otis got the car, but the RRSP room gone forever. Now he knows, and knowing changes everything, because the next decision looks completely different when you understand what's actually at stake. Next time something came up, TFSA first. Zero tax on the way out. Room comes back in January. No permanent damage. The RRSP is one of the most powerful savings tools Canadians have access to, but only when you understand exactly what it is, and exactly what it isn't. It isn't an emergency fund. It isn't a backup account for when life gets expensive. It's a retirement engine. Patient, quiet, compounding. And next week, we're going to talk about when to use the RRSP and when to use the TFSA instead. Because getting that decision right could be worth more to you than almost anything else you do with your money this year. This is MapleScript Canada. We'll see you next week. Bye.